Hi, my name's Erica, and I really enjoyed the article. I thought it was pretty funny. Um, I thought it was quite comical that it was called the Nasarima, which is America backwards, or like you would be looking at the word America in a mirror and it would be flipped around, which is kind of how that culture is compared to ours, or what I'm going to assume ours, because of how they've taken things that are private, things that aren't open to the public, like the bathroom, all the things going on there, and doctor's appointments. They're looked at as mysterious and could be kind of occultic, maybe. They put a lot of superstition on what we did because they didn't understand, which is what happens when two cultures get together and don't get to know each other and don't find out things in common and don't share meanings of things and aren't open. From what I saw in the article, the Americans didn't take them in and show them the things, what they were for and how to use them and why we use them. So I just, a lot was left to the Nasarima's imagination. And so they filled in the blanks, and they were pretty funny, good blanks that they filled in. I want to describe something that happened with my grandmother. She was fresh off the boat from Germany, didn't speak a lick of English. She came through Ellis Island with her husband and gonna start a new life in America. Ended up being dairy ranchers, which is what they did in Germany. And she became very fluent in English, and so did my grandfather. And as I was growing up, my grandmother just hated the fact that I chewed gum. And if I blew a bubble around her, oh, mercy, I was in trouble. And I never understood until I was probably 13 when I finally asked her. I said, why does it bother you so much for me to chew gum and to blow a bubble? And she said, well, Erika. And when she got off the boat and got all through customs and everything and her quarantine and all that good stuff, made sure all her papers were right, they were walking down the sidewalk to go to a place they were going to stay. And she saw somebody and it just scared her. She thought their guts were coming out, and she was telling her husband, why did we come to this country? People are sick. They're walking the streets sick. We're going to catch it. What's wrong with them? I mean, she was seriously upset. And my grandfather hadn't a clue what it was. And when they finally met up with some friends that met them there in New York, they explained that what the person was doing was blowing a bubble. They were chewing gum, and it happened to be pink gum, so she thought their intestines had come out their mouth. So I mean, I couldn't even imagine. So from that point on, gum was taboo. No. So I got my head thumped a lot because I liked to chew gum as a kid, but that was funny. One of the reasons I think that the Nasarima are a bit confused of our bathroom routine, which is what we call it now, Back in the day when we were less educated, our bathroom rituals were called ablutions, and that was even used in the article. And ablution, according to Merriam and Webster, and I got it off of merriam-webster.com, that an ablution, we'll say it correctly here, was once used to describe our morning purification. It's derived from the Latin. It's Old English. The word is originally used as a term of chemistry and alchemy. So if the Nestorians are backwards to us, behind us, they would still think alchemy, chemistry, that's all used in witchcraft and medicines. And as Christians, we know that pharmacy is pharmakia, and what the Bible talks about, pharmakia. And I'm not saying everybody quit taking your meds, no. But that is the origin of the word. And they're still concocting and making and mixing and preparing and dosing out. So it's alchemy. So ablution was purification by liquid. Around 1919, the phrase slowly started to dwindle out of our vocabulary, and with that, it's been replaced with, our bathroom routine, or, I just gotta go take a shower, so I was going to say something highly inappropriate, but will not go that way. So now that we have a bathroom routines, they're just that. They're routine. They're no big deal. I mean, there's nothing mystical or mysterious about them. Their bathrooms are kind of family friendly. You bring your kids in, you teach them how to bathe, you teach them how to brush their teeth, how to comb their hair, all that good stuff. My house, I have an open door policy on my bathroom to my family and exceedingly close friend. And if I'm occupied, my grandbabies come in and they want to sit and talk and point to the walls and the windows and whatnot, to learn the words. And that's how my third granddaughter learned how to talk and her words and recognizing things. So America has taken the mystery out of the bathroom. Now, the poor Nestorians, they're still behind the ball, and they're got a lot of superstition about the bathroom and doctor's appointments and things. But that's, their culture is that is a private thing. You don't share, and the things that you do are, purification. I'm not just washing my face. I'm purifying my face for whatever it is I'm going to do. I'm purifying my mouth whenever I brush my teeth. So maybe they, and it wouldn't do us any harm, more mindful brushing our teeth, that we're purifying our mouth so nothing bad comes out of it. No corrupt communication. Yeah, King James. No corrupt communication come out of there. It's a good thing to be mindful of. Washing my face. Instead of, I'm just washing my face, they're thinking I'm, purifying my face so that when I present it to the world, I'm going to think I am the reflection. I want it clean. I want to be the reflection of Jesus. I don't know what's in their mind, but that's what's going to be in my mind from now on. Let's see. Yeah, the reason the Nestorians see it as secret, private, mysterious, even religious, or occultic, using phrases like shine, magical potions, charm box, secret language that's ancient, medicine man. The Nestorians seem to be backwards in their thinking of mundane things we think nothing of. And the Nestorians make a big deal out of really nothing. But that's where understanding each other's culture and finding common ground is really, really important whenever you're trying to communicate with another culture. I had a pretty rough experience in Paris whenever I was a teen, and it was with lack of communication. Not only did I get shot at while I was there, I got followed back to the hotel, and there were two people thinking me and my roommate were prostitutes because we happened to be out super late. We were walking around, ended up on the wrong side of town, and got shot at. Praise God, nobody got hurt. It just blew all the glass out of the bus stop. And we got in a cab really quick. My roommate gave the address. We had it written down on paper to hand out if we needed it. And he was just looking at it and looking at us and looking at the address and looking at us. And I'm going, hurry, 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 go, go. And he's just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And so I went, go. And he stumped that gas and off he went. Well, he had boogered around long enough that the car, though they didn't come around and shoot at us again, but they did follow us, thinking we were prostitutes because of the side of town we were on. Well, we had no idea. Nobody told us. We didn't know to ask. And if we did ask, nobody spoke English, or if they did, they weren't talking to us that way. And praise God for the motel clerk or hotel clerk. He called the police and made the men go away. And my friend and I, we got our fannies chewed out by the director that was supposed to be watching us, but she's the one that let us go and didn't tell us where, what, and anything. Just have your address so that you can get home. So I highly recommend you learn the culture, the geographics of the area you're in, what's what. You learn the nuances of the language, and definitely their customs. Then you have a much higher chance of having effective communication. Well, guys, be blessed. Bye.